who greatly influence our foreign policy. Neocons, anxious for the U.S. to use force to realign the boundaries and change regimes in the Middle East, clearly understand the benefit of a galvanizing and emotional event to rally the people to their cause. Without a special event, they realize the difficulty in selling their policies of preemptive war where our own military personnel would be killed. Whether it was the Lusitania, Pearl Harbor, the Gulf of Tonkin, or the Maine, all served their purpose in promoting a war that was sought by our leaders. Quote, Ledeen writes of a fortuitous event. He wrote this in 1999. He says, "Of course, we can always get lucky. Stunning events from outside can providentially awaken the enterprise from its growing torpor and demonstrate the need for reversal, as the devastating Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor so effectively aroused the U.S. from its soothing dreams of permanent neutrality." Amazingly, Ledeen is here calling Pearl Harbor a lucky event. The Project for a New American Century, as recently as September 2000, likewise foresaw the need for a Pearl Harbor event that would galvanize the American people to support their ambitious plans to ensure political and economic domination of the world while strangling any potential rival. Recognizing a need for a Pearl Harbor event and referring to Pearl Harbor as being lucky are not identical to support and knowledge of such an event. But this sympathy for a galvanizing event, as 9/11 turned out to be, was used to promote an agenda that strict constitutionalists and devotees of the founders of this nation find appalling, is indeed disturbing. After 9/11, Rumsfeld and others argued for an immediate attack on Iraq, even though it was not implicated in the 9/11 attacks. The fact that neoconservatives ridicule those who firmly believe that U.S. interests in world peace would best be served by a policy of neutrality and avoiding foreign entanglements should not go unchallenged. Not to do so is to condone their grandiose plans for an American world hegemony. The current attention given neocons is usually done in the context of foreign policy. But there's more to what's going on today than just the tremendous influence the neocons have on our new policy of preemptive war with a goal of empire. Our government is now being moved by several ideas that come together in what I call neoconism. The foreign policy is being openly debated, even if its implications are not fully understood by many who support it. Washington is now driven by old views brought together in a new package. We know those who lead us, both in the administration and in the Congress, show no appetite to challenge the tax or monetary systems that do so much damage to our economy. The IRS and the Federal Reserve are off limits for criticism or reform. There's no resistance to spending, either domestic or foreign. Debt is not seen as a problem. The supply-siders won on this issue, and now many conservatives readily endorse deficit spending. There's no serious opposition to expanding the welfare state with rapid growth of the education, agriculture, and medical care bureaucracies. Support for labor unions and protectionism are not uncommon. Civil liberties are easily sacrificed in the post-9/11 atmosphere prevailing in Washington. Privacy issues are of little concern except for a few members of Congress. Foreign aid and internationalism, in spite of some healthy criticism of the UN and growing concerns for our national sovereignty, are championed on both sides of the aisle. Lip service is given to the free market and free trade, yet the entire economy is run by special interest legislation favoring big business, big labor, and especially big money. Instead of the end of history, we are now experiencing the end of a vocal limited government movement in our nation's capital. While most conservatives no longer defend balanced budgets and reduce spending, most liberals have grown lazy in defending civil liberties and are now approving wars that we initiate. The so-called third way has arrived, and sadly, it has taken the worst of what the conservatives and the liberals have to offer. The people are less well off for it, while liberty languishes as a result. Neocons enthusiastically embrace the Department of Education and national testing. Both parties overwhelmingly support the huge commitment